hear his music.
Mm-hmm.
Is he behind us?
He might be.
Wait. Oh my god!
There he is.
He just spawned in!
His tentacles went everywhere. Alright. Alright.
Oh lord, oh lord. Let it go!
You missed.
Come here. He's too far.
That's good, he's slow.
Pull him back toward me, he's too fast. Come here. Scanning. Scanned him, got him! Where are you? Oh, Lord have mercy. I missed! Go!
I'm trying to head back home now.
Oh my god. You missed, asshole.
Did you just de-aggro?
I think he did just de-aggro.
He's probably gonna see us again. Yeah, there
Yeah,
he
he's
goes.
coming for us. Welcome to the swamp. From sailing the high seas to delving into the depths of an alien planet, I played the first 2 Subnautica entries and adored them, even though I was quaking in my boots any time I saw movement beyond the safe shallows. Let's put on our swim trunks and dive into Subnautica 2. My name is Excalligator, and I review games using a category-based system built for survival, open world, and RPG titles. Each category is rated on a scale from 1 to 5, and if something doesn't apply to a specific game, it will not affect the overall score. Now let's get started. Subnautica 2 takes place after the first 2 games of the franchise, yet on a completely different planet with new and unique fauna that are still just as dangerous, with you having to submerge into the depths of the ocean to uncover its secrets, all while trying to survive and manage your hunger, water, and oxygen levels, and while researching the wildlife that you now live amongst. So, I was hoping for an actual character creation this time around, however that isn't the case. You are to select from one of 4 presets, then you could choose the color of their swim gear, which will also correlate to your multiplayer color. That's pretty much it. So normally when there's no true character customization, I'll judge the section based off the pre-made as a developed character, if they are or not. These 4 characters, from what I can see, have no backstory while they do have names. They are simply just avatars for you to swim around in, so with nothing to base a score on, I will not be rating this section. Though real quick before I move on, as I'm editing this, I learned that it is planned for an actual character customization later on in the early access, or at least more options for the characters that you choose from, so we'll have to see when it does come out if that is true. The game starts off in a set piece where you wake up and realize the ship carrying you has crash landed. You are instructed to quickly make your way to an escape pod, though after finding one of the game's gimmicks, which is gene donating, you need to release the life pod, then watch as it shoots you from the crash site and land in the safe shallows, where you truly start. Now, off the bat you will realize, unlike the first 2 games, you cannot digest the food of this planet, which will limit your survival. You will have limited air tank as well, but that is normal for progression. As you dive down, grab what you can, and go back up. You will upgrade and be able to last longer in the water later on. The tutorial is very limited. In fact, the game doesn't really hold your hand at all once you are in the water. You are expected to find things out for yourself, but it works in a weird way. So I am going to give the start of this game a 4 out of 5.
Hold on, wait for me now.
Okay.
Now let's go as far as possible and try to see what's in the void zone.
Wait, hold on. Wait for me. Yeah.
Everybody buckled in?
Yeah. Bring me that horizon.
Whee!
This is pretty much the game. Exploration is everything. As I mentioned in the previous section, the game does not hold your hand. In order to upgrade and learn recipes, you need to force yourself to leave the comfort of the safe shallows and venture out into the other biomes to discover technological advancements as well as various plants and animals that can help you progress and eventually build up in a way to allow you to venture even further or deeper. For resources, you could generally find most of them everywhere, though at times you will find only certain items in certain locations. Nothing wrong with that, it means the world will remain relevant throughout the game. While I'll talk about it more in the story section, I will say that the game, just like the first one, will point you in the general direction of a story-related area after a certain amount of time passes, of course, in-game, but you are not pressured to go there. You can take your time and reach the location when you are able to. The mobility in this game is crazy. Not only do you unlock better flippers, more air, and of course the new type of submarine, now known as the tadpole, but you could genetically modify your character to have enhancements, which allowed me to dash through the water and swim almost twice as fast when I'm close to the floor. There are more mods you can unlock later on, and you could have more tools at your disposal to maneuver with better speed and precision the further you advance. I'm gonna give the exploration a 5 out of 5. While we still haven't seen everything that the game will offer later on, there is still a need and want to explore every area, with each biome being unique and the discoverability being vast.
Oh yeah, I might actually die.
We're almost home. Are you dead? Yep.
Yeah, I died.
I'll stay here so you can at least find your body.
Yeah.
The survival is a constant threat. Now, at the start, you can't process regular food, though you can bypass it by making more advanced food, but early on you will discover a plant life form called angel combs, which have genes fit for the survival of this planet. By aiding them with their diseases, they will grant you each one buff to your character, being the ability to process and consume food, a better heat tolerance, and more that I won't go into for spoiler reasons. But there is also other types of modifications that you are introduced to early on. It doesn't expand until a certain part of the story is reached. It's a trait system. However, it is a trait system where you can choose to give yourself certain boosts in something specific. For now, we can only choose one at a time, but it seems later on in the game's development we may be able to choose more than one. But even with all of that, food and water is always a constant need. Even as you find ways to make gathering it much easier, you will always need to make sure to pack yourself several food and water pieces before you head out on your long journey, or make small encampments with emergency rations if you're able to. My biggest issue so far with the whole game is your death location. Unfortunately, if you die, you have no way of knowing where you died unless you remember the exact location. You are not given any beacon or location marker, at least not until you're basically 5 meters on top of it. So if you die next to a point of interest or a land marker, it will be easier to find, but if you died out in the middle of the ocean trying to get air or something, good fucking luck getting your stuff back. I've already lost at least 2 bags worth of stuff, and not even from creatures. I haven't really died once to a creature, it was mostly from drowning or starvation. I'm gonna give the survival a 4 out of 5. It's not super in-depth, but it is present through your whole journey. The biggest issue, like I said, is the death runs.
Miles, how do I look? Because you parked me out of the water. Can you take a picture?
Yeah.
Send it.
Excellent. I love it. Keep that. Fix the other bugs. Keep that.
Yeah, keep that. That's fine.
The building is a bit different than other games. While you still have all of the discoverable decorations, the buildings themselves have changed. Instead of making a small room or a large room, you now just make a room, and you can continuously keep adding to it to make it whatever shape or size you want. Granted, if you have the materials to do so. The moon pool is also integrated into the system, where instead of it just being a separate room, you can now add a hole to the floor before adding a dock for your submarine. I will recommend making it large, as one of the caddies for the sub is a bit chunky. You will also need a lot of power to run your many machines. While having a field of solar panels can work, there are other methods to get power as well. Bioreactors, thermal plants. While they make a return, you also have new turbines that will power your building when placed in an ocean current. Now, I have noticed that a lot of larger resource deposits will not respawn. I'm pretty sure that's what it was in the other games, though I don't remember. Only the smaller ones will respawn. However, later in the progression, you will unlock a way to make more resources at your base with metal farms. You do have the regular farm that has also returned, but so far it's really only for water-based plants. We've not seen any regular plants or land masses just yet like in the other games, so we'll have to wait and see for that. Crafting is definitely better and got an upgrade. It functions relatively the same as the previous games, yet now it will draw from chests around your base, which is a huge quality of life. My friend and I still organized everything, but you don't really have to now because of the chest drawing, so you don't have to go digging around for all of your items. It is clear that we are still missing a lot of things that used to be in older titles, such as the aquariums or the tank to hatch eggs to get pets of creatures. I'm sure they will come around later on in a content update, but for now, as it stands, I will award the building a 4.5 out of 5. I did drop it a small point because the power draw is a bit of an issue. You will have to fight with it early on in the game until you have enough resources to make backup power banks and additional generators.
Does it still make that satisfying splat noise when fish hit the windshield? Oh, that guy looks good and juicy.
No.
Oh.
I think we moved it.
0 out of 10. Refund.
Immediate refunds. Even though it's been over 2 hours.
So why is PvE here? This is not a combat game. You are correct. This section is not going to be rated. However, I wanted to give my 2 cents on the controversy that this game has sparked in the community for the lack of being able to kill creatures. Now, I get it. Subnautica has never been, and never really should be, a combat game. You're not supposed to be able to kill the great leviathans, as keeping them as the top of the food chain is what helps keep the fear of the ocean alive. I'm not worried about that. What I, and it seems like many others, are upset about are these small fish. In older titles, you were given a knife that you could use for harvesting as well as killing smaller fish for hunting. If used in a certain way, of course you could kill the medium creatures, and people have even found ways, albeit sneaky ways, to kill the larger predators too. The developers have decided to avoid killing the large predators, or even mediums too, I guess, by removing the killing in general. The survival tool you get cannot even kill the smaller fish you are meant to hunt and eat, and that is my issue. I don't mind not being able to kill the larger predators and leviathans, but we should be able to kill the smaller ones because that's how survival works. We are already catching and cooking them. Why can we not hit them with the hammer or splatter them on the sub's windshield? That's one of the funniest things that people liked from the first game, just seeing the fish splatter across the glass, but now it's removed. Again, I know people would prefer to ram their subs into larger predators and kill them. I know because I did that, especially in Below Zero, where I would kill those like Suchos guys or whatever they're called near the island with the sea truck. All the devs would have to do is remove the health bar from the medium and larger creatures, but also allow the smaller ones to be able to get damaged. It's just that easy, and more believable. But anyway, that's what I think. You can all let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's move on to the next section.
I think it's scannable.
I don't know. I'm not going in that thing.
Alright. Portable oxygen generator. I'm pretty sure it doesn't know
I
if
think
we're
there's a
here.
second one in there.
Yeah. It doesn't know if we're here as long as we don't touch the purple things.
The story delivers itself to you with audio recordings as well as notes from previous humans that have landed here as the expedition team to settle this planet before the rest of the humans follow. Every, I would say, hour or so in-game, you will be alerted to seek your new companion of the game, Noah, who doesn't accompany you like Alan did in the previous title, but instead he will remain in your base. However, as you discover abandoned bases out in the world, you can upload him there to speak with him. He will send you coordinates to black boxes of others where you could find out what happened to them. Black boxes are what you would drop when you die, and in this game, they made it canon that when you die, you actually die, but your body is reprinted, with your memories downloaded to the new body. This will lead into some of what's going on into the story itself, but for now, I'm gonna give the delivery of the story a 4 out of 5. It's enough to follow along if you care to know the story, but it is fully skippable if you just don't care at all. I only dropped it a small point because, unfortunately, due to the nature of discovering the lore, it can lead to timeline issues when you are trying to follow along of what's happening. Now then, I was planning to skip the story at it is written section since it is still being developed, and I was going to have a spoiler section talking about what we know so far, but I'm gonna skip a formal section, and instead, at the end of the video, I'm just gonna have some clip of me and my friend talking about what we had learned so far. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you're completely free to finish the review until the outro, and then you don't have to watch that part. But if you are interested in hearing me and my friend talk about what we have learned so far in the story, then feel free to stay till the end. We just hit the oxygen deficiency.
Yeah,
Just breathe. Just open your lungs bigger.
exactly. Just take a deep breath and let the seawater rush in. Oh, that's... Oh, it's the edge of the map.
I just saw red.
Yeah,
It's like literally just like, eh.
yeah. Do not go this way.
Game said not developed yet.
Yeah,
There's just like the pink and black Gmod texture.
yeah. No.
This section is also not going to be rated, however, I wanted to voice some concerns. Now, originally this game was supposed to launch last year, yet due to, I'm going to just call it publisher drama, it was delayed. I won't get into that because that's not what the video is about, but my concern is more or less what we are to expect in terms of a time frame for content updates. Without too much info being said, I will say that I think that the first few main biomes that we start off in were what was planned to be launched last year, and I'm gonna call it the tower section and the green zone were added on for this launch, which means they could have been part of what would have been a content update if the game had come out last year, if you followed along what I just said. As far as we know right now, we do have a public roadmap, but the first two content updates are more or less refining systems and updating quality of life, with a possible new biome and scary Leviathan, but it won't be until much later until we get any new major content. I also think it could be a while before this game sees 1.0. I'm going to assume probably 2 to 3 years, though that's just my guess. Yeah, that's what we were hearing. He's like right outside the base. He's gonna crash into the base. Dude. He's gonna go right into the base.
Lovely.
He's just... Oh no, where'd he go?
Well,
Where'd he go? You like freaked out against the base and then he disappeared. I will say I did encounter a few smaller bugs while playing, such as one where this new reefback creature-esque Leviathan is going straight into my base and then suddenly vanishes. It didn't really do anything harmful, it was just a graphical bug, so I found it pretty funny. Another bug that actually did happen frequently was easily fixable, but it was while using the tadpole. One or all of us in my friend group would not be able to regain our oxygen when we mounted onto the sub. It would stop going down, but it wouldn't replenish. And only once in the playthrough did I actually encounter a crash while entering a new zone, yet the next time we went there, it was completely fine. It could have just been a coincidence. I also did get a lot of texture flashing in and out every so often, but it wasn't really enough to harm the immersion. With that, I am going to rate the section a 4 out of 5. Yeah, I bumped into some issues, but nothing really halted my progression or made the game unplayable.
I feel like there's gonna be a big creature.
Seek caloric intake.
Uh-oh.
Seek freshwater intake.
Guys, my game crashed.
Oh.
Oh no.
My overall score for the early access of Subnautica 2 is going to be a 4.3 out of 5. It is a bit rough in some spots and definitely lacking in overall content and gameplay, but for what is available at the moment, it's enough to keep you busy for a good 10 to 15 hours, I would say, and it all works itself very well. I can only imagine when it gets closer to launch and we finally get to visit the tree. It will be great. I do recommend trying it out right now, but also understand if people want to wait for the full release. Now then, as I mentioned earlier, if you are interested in a clip of me and my friend discussing the story, which will involve spoilers, stand by until after the outro. Also keep in mind my mic was muted for some reason at the start, so I clipped the footage partially into the discussion, so you might lose a little bit of context, but besides that, I hope you enjoy. That is the end of this video. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe. I'll be diving into more in-depth reviews of open-world sandbox RPG games, including ones no one ever talk about, buried deep in the darkest corners of Steam. Some of them even look like the muck at the bottom of my pond. For pure gameplay content, check out my second channel, Excalligator Gaming, where I post full narrated playthroughs, funny shorts, and streams. Do you have a game that you think I should cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Florida Gatorman out.
I think we've been here for like 200 years. Because all these other people that were finding the black boxes, they died about 26, 27, 28 years ago. That's when they're black boxes, because they were deceased 235,000 hours ago, or 245,000 hours ago, which roughly equates to 27, 28 years. Because with the PDA system in NOAA, it has very limited processing, because in the beginning, when you're in LifeOn, it says PDA does not recognize the star map, or star's constellation, so it can't determine where we are. That's what it says at first, but I'm certain the Cicada had a full suite stellar cartography units, so when they eventually crashed into orbit around this star system on this planet, they probably were able to get scans of the local stellar neighborhood, solar pulsar, and in their advanced cartography unit, I would guess be able to tell how far away and make the assumption if they're 20,000 light years away with no phase gate, there ain't no way they're getting home. So they might as well try to colonize the most likely habitable worlds in the system, which would be this planet. So it didn't go according to plan, but they're trying to make the best of it and get a colony set up because they know that the people up in space can't stay in hypersleep forever. So they're trying to make a home for them that they'll like live out, or maybe start a little branch of humanity. Who knows?
Now, with the forward camp, so I know a lot of them got marked for no reprint because they were corrupted by the tree or by the virus or whatever the fuck is going on. So, but he said with some of them that they got reverted back to an older state. It would mean that they wouldn't remember, but wouldn't it be possible to revert most of these guys to a previous state before they were corrupted and bring them back?
Yes, that's what was weird. That's why they're starting to question Noah's intentions, because Noah should have been able to revert them back to, like, say when they first stepped on the planet. Like, I understand the memories and everything, that would make sense, but you'd think they'd be able to read their, because I'm certain they kept daily logs on their PDAs, so they'd probably be able to, like, reread them, or something to, like, remind themselves why they were there, like, oh, I've been here for 26 years already, or something. So it's going up. It is. So they probably
so if
do
it's
that.
been like 20 something, like let's just say 25 years since the last time they entered, that means they would have been here longer.
Yeah, that's their last recorded lifetime. It definitely means they've been there longer. But that's why, I think it said so in some of the audio logs, that's why they are questioning Noah. It was because, like, why can't Noah just reprint us back to an earlier state? Why is he walking down people's reprints, or like just flat out denying their reprints? And I think those are the people that were starting to investigate or get too close to things, like too close to the truth, or like the civilization or the
I like
infection.
how Noah's just watching you as you're walking around.
We aren't talking about you. Yeah, so I think that's why people were getting suspicious, because he was limiting their reprints. He was, like, if they would look too far into something, he would stop reprinting them and just say they were too corrupted to restore. And, you know, since he has all control, all they have to do is just, like, they pretty much just have to sit down and take it.
Now, this is an older version of Noah, but what's to say that he won't try to do the same thing to us?
Yeah. That's what people are saying, is that he's 100% a bad guy. Because even if this buddy or pal, is friendly, the more data he absorbs from the other Noah nodes by connecting to them, the more likely he is to get corruption, the same corruption they went through when they were exposed to whatever virus or something is in this water that's like converting everything and making people want to swim to the world tree.
I did hear a theory that he was doing it of his own accord because he's basically like what's his name from WALL-E, the steering wheel? Otto. That he's basically like, we have a mission and you're going off the mission. So that's one theory. Another theory is, because this Noah in particular seems like he's okay with what we're doing, because I don't really know what, but he seems to be like okay with it. He's kind of going with the flow. So what if it was like, it could have been that he was Prime Directive, or it could have been like that Nazima chick who we already know is infected with the maize field. And
I think it's also...
And the maize field is the symptom of the virus, and there's two different viruses going on. One of them is like good bacteria, and then the other one is the more like infectious one. And the infectious one is...
that's taking over the angel combs.
Yeah, the angel comb, I think, is actually part of, like, the thing that we're touching our hand to, I think is part of the good the good one, because that looks like also an infection, but it's like benevolent.
Yeah.
Then
It's something that goes symbiotic instead of pure parasitic.
yeah, so then you have the other parasitic one. Then the world tree, because at first we thought it was like a giant mushroom spreading its spores, but now it seems that it is just a big tree that's kind of like the lifeblood of the world, and the tree itself is infected with this parasitic virus.
Yeah, I think it's like a coral or something, like a coral or mushroom or something, that one of those two, that its roots extend really far, and like everything that's connected is connected in some way. Because I know some coral systems have that, like the Great Coral Reef. I think all that's like interconnecting, or it was when it was fully healthy, or like large mushroom fields, like that forest that is entirely connected underground from like the trees and the mushrooms through the mycelial network. I think the reason why this guy hasn't been corrupted yet is because he, like you were saying, it might be like a directive. His directive is stating we are the something investigator. I don't remember what.
Prime
Hold on,
investigator or something like that? I don't remember.
There's a thing with our contract in here somewhere. Qualified investigator. That's what it is. I think that's what his coding is locked into. He sees us as this qualified investigator, so his prime directive is making sure that we find out what happens to the original 26. So I think that's what's keeping him from corruption, is when it tries to, like, even the other NOAA units are like, this is our directive, and he's like, nah, this is my directive. I don't care about yours, I care about mine.
Yeah, but
so
again, because I don't remember when, but there were times where he's like, he's basically asking you to do something on his own, like he's got his own mindset, so it makes me wonder, like, again, he's more go with the flow rather than prime directive, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's what I was saying, like, he possibly gets corrupted, because the more he reads these other NOAA units, little bits of code might be going into him, and he might slowly start absorbing their directives instead of, and it might start, depending on who programs the other ones initially, because it's just like Mother in Alien. I don't know if you ever saw that, or like
I did, but years ago.
Yeah, if you like remember it, Mother had she was the AI that ran the, I don't remember the ship name, but the ship, and her main directive was getting those aliens back to Earth, the alien eggs, for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. So she was subtle, but at the end she just totally went off the rails. But I wonder if he'll start slowly absorbing it and getting to the point where he starts following these other NOAA's directives, like because it's like a higher authority that's ordering it, and he's picking up parts of this code. So his authority might be changing to whoever on Earth programs him, or whatever corporation. I guess it's a subsidiary of the Altera Corporation. So it's probably Altera that programs the NOAA units. Oh,
By and large.
yeah. I'm curious how it'll turn out. I really am.
Well,
Boat?
we'll see him in 6 months.
Exactly.